What's up everyone, Alex Comstock here bringing you another Whitetail DNA vlog, and on today's video we're talking 3 underrated shed hunting tips to help you find more antlers this year. There's a lot of shed hunting advice out there, but these 3 places I think kind of don't get as much press when you're talking about where to find sheds. So before we jump into today's video, I'm going to ask, please, if you hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the bell for notifications below, that would help a million times over again. I would thank you so much. As I try to grow my YouTube channel here, having you guys come back and watch my content, I really genuinely appreciate it. And with that said, let's talk 3 underrated shed hunting tips that could help you find more antlers this year. All right, the first underrated place that I want to talk about for finding sheds is those thick, nasty bedding areas. Now people, when it comes to bedding areas, what gets talked about a lot, or what I talk about a lot even, is, south-facing slopes, pine trees, lone pine trees, cedar swamps, all that good stuff. But what amazes me is the stuff that people won't walk through. I mean, sometimes after I get done shed hunting, you thought I just came out of a fight or something. I've got scratches all over me, cut hands. I actually can't really tell you, a little cut on my hand right now from shed hunting the other day. I ought to be careful with what clothing I'm wearing because, I'm walking through a lot of briars and buckthorn and stuff that'll just grab at your clothes. So you want to find those thick, nasty bedding areas that, especially if you live in a colder climate where there's snow and stuff, like where I live up in Minnesota. We have a ton of snow, it's super cold in the winter. Deer are just gravitating towards those thick areas where they can just kind of hunker down and not have to worry about being out in the wind and the cold as much, So, one of the most popular places for me is just where it's really thick, where there's buckthorn, briars, stuff like that. Deer just kind of holing up. Sometimes I gotta be crawling through little spots, I don't know how these deer get to these little areas, but a lot of times you can go into these spots and pull a few antlers out that you might not have otherwise looked for. The second underrated spot that I kind of want to talk about are natural food sources. So what gets a lot of hype and, what people love to look around when it comes to shed hunting is, standing crops, which obviously can be great. Any type of, if you can feed deer in your area, any type of like food source like that, obviously is going to be a magnet. But one thing that doesn't get talked about as much are, natural food sources. What if you live in an area where there aren't crops, or, that's kind of like my case. There are no crop fields up in northern Minnesota, not really anyway. And a couple things I'm keen on are, mountain ash berries, which are a common, berry up here that deer love to snack on in the winter. I mean, buckthorn again. Buckthorn has been just a big topic, with me lately that I've learned in the last few years, because not only is it thick, provide bedding, but it doubles up as a food source. So there's these little black, kind of bluish berries, and they're, buckthorn, and deer eating those. And deer eating buckthorn in an area because they'll be, where they pee, it's blue. And so a lot of times a lot of people are wondering, what's the blue on the ground? Well, it's actually, deer pee, which you can see in the snow. When it's snow, you can see the color, and that's when they're from buckthorn. That's a great natural food source. Depending on where you live in the country, it could be any type of natural food source or any type of natural browse. Deer love, little saplings and stuff like that. Anything that, where they can concentrate deer in the actual timber can be a great natural food source, and something that you should be thinking about when it comes to shed hunting, because if you're not checking out these spots, or maybe all the other spots that are popular got walked, and whether you shed hunt on public land or whatever, you just want to, I'm trying to find any little edge I can, or get into any little spot that maybe hasn't been walked. So if I can get into a spot that's got a great natural food source, it can be really good, and it can lead you to find some antlers. And then the third and final underrated area that I want to talk about is overlooked public land. And this is kind of just like with hunting, right? There's a lot of these pieces that are overlooked public land. That might be small parcels of property that don't look like much on a map, but they can be really good. Maybe it's a small, CRP field that's near a food source, right? Maybe it's something like that, or just a small river bottom spot that just gets overlooked because it's so small. I mean, a great example of this is there's a small piece of public land in North Dakota that every year me and my buddies shed hunt, and I'm fairly certain, we're kind of like the only people that ever walk it. Last year we pulled 14 antlers out in one day, and it's just a little overlooked river bottom spot that people hardly hunt and people hardly shed hunt it. So anything that you can really identify as, get out there, check, see if there's any deer in there, because you never know where you can find an overlooked piece of public land that, you know, deer are spending all winter on that no one's really checking on. It might be some type of, you know, it might be an island by a swamp. It could be, like I said, a CRP field. Any type of overlooked public land, just as when it comes, you know, I apply the same tactics when I'm actually scouting for hunting. I'm looking for those overlooked spots, small, doesn't look like much on a map, and hard to get to possibly. If you're really trying to find more antlers, you know, finding that overlooked public land could really help you out, and like the other tips, could help you find a few more sheds. So with that, that's really all I have on this short little vlog here. Just wanted to bring you 3 underrated spots that I think could help you find more antlers. Like I said at the top, if you enjoy this video, please hit that subscribe, like, and hit the bell for notifications. It means so much to me, and I really appreciate it. I'm gonna have some more, you know, shed hunting videos coming up here in the future, and hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you here again on the next video.